Hey PlayStation gamers, I'm Blaze, and we've got some bad news when it comes to the PS5 Pro, specifically with one game, and this could affect other games. We've just got to wait and see right now as people get their hands on the PS5 Pro, or have got their hands on the PS5 Pro. They're starting to launch up a bunch of games and realize they're actually looking worse on the PS5 Pro than they do on the base PS5 version. And the one game we're talking about here, specifically, that has glaring issues is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's basically got worse image quality than the base PS5 version, players are claiming, and EA says they're working on it. They're aware of the issues and they're actively investigating it. And here's some responses on Twitter or X. Let me know if you agree with them. They said it's embarrassing for your team that this update was released. People spent their hard-earned cash on your product to play on a premium console to find it effectively broken. It's unacceptable, and developers are getting away with shoddy, rushed updates. I think we're kind of getting used to this by now. I mean, remember back in the 90s, maybe you weren't born in the 90s or before the 90s, maybe the 2000s, but remember back in the day, even in the early 2000s, when games came out, we didn't really actively have an internet connection. I mean, internet connection, updating your games online was more happened so when around the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, right? A lot of people didn't connect their PS2s and obviously their PS1s and Nintendo devices to the internet to get game updates. Now developers are sort of taking advantage of that, and they're pushing out games that are half-baked with a bunch of issues, and they're like, oh, it's fine, our customers can wait. Yeah, they paid $70 to $100+ for a game, but they're just gonna have to wait for the updates. The updates will come and it'll fix out all the little issues. That never used to happen, and we're seeing it more and more with game updates coming out and just breaking the game. I feel like they need to stop rushing with these things and just release them when they're fully baked and not have to rely on post-release updates to fix it. Let's go back and take a look and see what other people have said. That flicking foliage, how could this get past quality control, is baffling. You're supposed to be a serious company. EA, it's in the game. Was that the saying? The PS1 saying? EA Sports, it's in the game, or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, it's been a while. I love Jedi Survivor, but my ultra high-end PC doesn't run it that great. Xbox Series X is better, but it's just not great. Can you please fix it and add combat challenges to the mediation? Okay, Digital Foundry did us a service with their video. How about Battlefront 3 instead? The issue is that you're using older PSSR SDK and apply it to this game. Use the latest SDK version, please. It doesn't make sense. If grass was shimmering, then other games like The Last of Us 2 should also have that issue too. Does The Last of Us 2 run on the same engine? No, I don't know. Obviously, different game engines are going to handle PSSR upscaling differently, so I don't know if this is a widespread issue. I guess we'll see. It took a Digital Foundry video for you to acknowledge it. If you don't know who Digital Foundry are, they're basically like a benchmarking website where they test a bunch of new gaming hardware, performance, do a lot of performance comparisons between consoles and PCs and PC hardware to show you the differences and, just the performance of games, right, on different hardware. And they did some great side-by-side comparisons of, a game running on the Xbox Series X versus the PS5 or PS5 Pro. It's really cool. This poor game, amazing, just riddled with technical issues since the beginning. This game has severe issues on all platforms. You should have spent another year in the oven. Learn your lesson until the next Jedi game. How about fixing Jedi Survivor's PC port? All the textures are low poly. Can't even play the game with the trees looking like rocks that are so low poly. Yeah, it's the whole game being like that since day one. That is criminal. Yeah, it's crazy, but I'm glad they're investigating it. Apparently they're using an older SDK for PSSR upscaling, so hopefully if they can get that update, it should be a quick patch. And here's the video in question from Digital Foundry.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is a game we have a long history here with at Digital Foundry. It has been patched, and patched again, and finally it is now being patched with PlayStation 5 Pro support. Does this fix some of the game's issues on the base PlayStation?
You've got to admit, it does look kind of nice though.
PlayStation 5? Well, let's find out. And to join me talking about this today, I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Oliver McKenzie. How you doing there, Oliver?
Yes, I'm well, Alex. Another piece of ore from the PS5 Pro mine. But I think this is a pretty rich vein, potentially.
Oh my goodness.
Chat about today. Yes.
I could see that all in my head, that metaphor. It was beautiful. But yes, here we go about the addition. Oliver, could you give us the lay of the lands and the modes here, what they're like?
Yeah, so basically we have two modes here. We have a performance mode and a quality mode.
Okay.
I think we should probably start with that performance
Pretty
mode on
standard.
PS5
Yeah,
Pro.
let's do it.
Yeah, because I think that's where we see the most interesting updates here, and potentially also some of the more substantial issues. But I want options in both performance and quality modes on PS5 and Series X, but they removed it in the performance modes in a patch last September. And that was very successful. It got the game to just about a locked 60 FPS with better image quality, better internal resolutions. So here it seems like they've brought at least some of that back. So I did some comparison shots here to work out exactly what's changed between PS5 Pro and the old performance mode. So right off the
here
bat,
we go.
it does seem like PS5 Pro gets RT reflections. These can be subtle, but if you look at the floor in this shot, you see more reflective detail on Pro. I find that the RT reflections tend to be a bit more prominent in
Oh, it does look kind of worse, doesn't it? Look at that. Look at the resolution there. And just go back for a second. Look at the texture in the floor. It looks much more blurry and muted on the PS5 Pro version. Interesting.
Comparisons here, the PS5 Pro in performance mode, it's clearly not resolving the same kind of lighting detail as the old quality.
Yeah, it sure isn't.
And
Wow.
there are some tells that we've worked out for RTGI in this game. Like in these shots, I'm running forward backwards, and that lighting detail, it's popping in the quality mode, not popping in the performance mode. That's kind of a tell that we're dealing with some kind of real-time RTGI system there. Also, partially based on the description in the settings menu and in EA's PR on this game.
Performance mode now runs at a higher resolution of 1080p upscale from 1200 and includes ray traced occlusions and reflections while continuing to deliver
EA
60
says it's
FPS.
upscaling from 1200p to 1800p. Unfortunately, in my testing, that was not the case.
They lied.
900p on average.
900p on average?
Pretty severe dynamic resolution scaling. So the lowest number I got was below 720p.
Wow.
The number I got was well above 1080p.
On the PS5 Pro.
So it's very variable.
That is
Damn, dude.
variable, and it's also, I mean, we've seen.
So they're EA's practically lying here. They're saying, you know, we're scaling from 1800p instead of the 1200p from the previous model of the PS5, right? But he's finding that it's running as low as 700p. It's got that dynamic resolution scaling, so it's basically a wide range. I mean, they're acting as if on the PS5 Pro, it's a consistent upscale from 1800. No dynamic resolution scaling besides anything maybe from 1800 upwards. It's going down to 720p and upscaling it. I mean, don't get me wrong, PSSR is great. It's upscaling is great, and you can get amazing results from upscaled games, even as low as the resolution is 720p. But for them to claim 800p and up, you know, scaling from 1800p from the 1200p before is a bit disingenuous on EA's part. Kind of surprising, and the fact that the results are sort of speaking for themselves right here, and we're starting to see the quality not be as good as the original base version.
Or DLSS on PC, that getting something like 720 does remind me a little bit of our discussions on Alan Wake 2 about just like a general instability in still images. Like,
There's not much of a difference, is there? They really, I think this is just
showing, and the fact that FSR2 is like, and this wasn't even like the latest version of FSR2. This is the, like, if I recall when it launched.
that's a comparison there between the Windows 11 version, noticeably sharper on a gaming PC, but that's to be expected.
FSR2. This is the, like, if I recall when it launched, it was actually one of the earlier versions of FSR2.
When I was switching between modes here, sometimes the RTGI didn't propagate properly, so you're left with missing lighting detail, like black holes in the image.
Oh, damn.
Or in this image, I'm switching.
Oh, that is criminal. Look at the difference. There's black holes and just the lighting's just completely messed up in some areas.
Modes in this spaceship, and the whole roof is just black.
Wow.
Completely blacked out. So it doesn't look quite correct. But a reload fixes that issue, fortunately, so not too much of an issue. But then there's image quality, and basically we're seeing all the same problems we did in performance mode, but just not as bad here. So in still shots, the PSSR grain, as we're calling it, is present here.
Ooh.
The image is softer than it was before. Again, both going to 4K here, but it's softer than before. But in motion here, we're basically seeing a lot of the same problems as we did in the performance mode, with a lot more instability and foliage in the old quality mode. The run around the river isn't as offensive as it is in the performance mode, but it's still a lot worse than FSR, I think. It's sharper, but not nearly as stable.
That's crazy.
In resolution terms, it's like the old quality mode, but actually a little bit higher on average. It's kind of hanging around.
So PS5 Pro quality mode 1700p, 1400p, 108p in SHA 3. 1080p, and yeah, it's slightly higher, but not like worlds apart. I mean, PS5 quality mode. For anybody that maybe didn't choose to upgrade to the PS5 Pro, here's a prime example of why it's not the end of the world. You're not. I mean, in some games, I think the difference is going to be a lot more stark. For games like this, though, that are already sort of running in the limits of the hardware from the previous gen, you're not going to get as big as a jump as you will in certain other titles, right? And like a lot of people were saying in the comments, they're using an older version of the SDK for the PSSR. So if they potentially update that, we'll maybe get a higher resolution on average. They'll be upscaling from and might get closer to, being at 1800p instead of the 1200p on average. But yeah, it's just crazy. Broadcast here says just deactivate ray tracing, bump the internal resolution, PSSR will do the rest. Please do better with the final entry of the trilogy. And this game would have been 10 out of 10 if you left the developers work on it, instead of being worried about deadlines and shareholders. Please move from the alpha version of PSSR to the FSR 3.1. It's going to resolve issues and make it possible to use higher internal resolution. So if this isn't an old SDK issue, if it is something that can be resolved with an update, I don't know what that would entail. We could be making the case here that FSR is actually, in some cases, better than PSSR, which would be nuts. Theoretically, though, I think the PS5 Pro could easily support FSR. The original PS5 was. That's AMD's, proprietary sort of upscaling technology. PlayStation decided to branch off and do their own version of it. So, I mean, there's theoretically no reason they can't just bump it back to FSR 3.1. Since it should work on the PlayStation 5. I think PlayStation kind of don't want that because they obviously want to tout PSSR, the new PlayStation upscaling technology, instead of just biting their tongue a little bit or just swallowing their pride and just maybe referring back to AMD's tech. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, it's interesting. Obviously, you're not going to see the differences as starkly as you would if you were playing the game yourself on your PS5 on a 4K monitor or display. Obviously, we're just watching it from a third-party perspective from Digital Foundry. I recommend you go check out their channel and check out their video, and you'll maybe be able to see the quality differences in a lot better detail than you would on mine. And I believe they put the raw video files as well up on their website, so that might be worth checking out if it's something you want to really delve into and just see how bad or how bad the PS5 Pro version is. But on first glance, from what I'm seeing on my screen, there is a difference, and it's not hitting. It's not hitting anything anywhere close to what they were promising, right? Anyways, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hopefully, this isn't an issue that affects more, several games. You're right, because you don't want to upgrade to the $700 PS5 Pro only to find that it runs games worse than the original PS5 in some cases. That would suck. Anyways, I'm sure it's nothing that can be fixed over software updates. So hang on there. Wait on the developers to investigate and fix it. And yeah, don't be too bummed. Anyways, peace out. I'm Blaze2K. Like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next video. But also, before we go, check out our list in the video description for some really great affiliate links. Like I said, Black Friday's around the corner. There's an amazing bunch of deals right now. This S90D OLED Samsung, which is fantastic, is down to $1397, and I believe the LG OLED TVs, the C4s, are also on sale right now. $896 for a 42-inch OLED C4 from LG. This could be a proper monitor desktop replacement here for your gaming PC, your PS5, just something small. Well, not too small, it's 42 inches, it's pretty damn big, but for your desktop, right? And it would look really sick. PSVR 2's on sale right now. The bundle's on sale for $350. Absolutely nuts. I mean, $350 for the bundle, $350 for the just the base PS5 Pro. Go for the bundle. Get Horizon Call of the Mountain and a bunch of other great accessories are on sale. It's the best time to be buying stuff for Christmas and everything like that. Go check that out, and check the other links as well down below in the video description. I've got some really cool deals, including Everyday Dose Coffee, which I think you need to try at least once. It's mushroom coffee. Wait till you try it, you'll love it, and it's just way better than normal coffee, in my opinion. A lot healthier for you too. Anyways, peace out. I'll see you in the next one. I'm Blaze. Bye.